Morning, everybody. Welcome back to Ozark Mountain Goats. Josie has been secretly saving up. She always does that, and then surprises me with something. Well, this time she surprised me with a large freeze dryer from Harbor Stripe. But what that means is I have to run power down below in our basement for a plug just for it. It has to have a 20 amp breaker. Even though it's 110, it still needs its own individual power. So that's what I'm going to be doing here, and in a few minutes I'm going to go down, I'm going to drill a hole through the wall so I can run the wire, and then I got to figure out how to get it up the wall here, because I've got a lot of blockage in here where I put metal when we were building to keep anybody from driving nails into the wiring. And I might also say, if you don't know what you're doing with electric, don't mess with it. Get somebody that knows what they're doing. I happen to have been around it for years, and I've wired 2 or 3 homes, wired this home. And if you don't know what you're doing, be very careful. Don't mess with your panel if you don't know, and get somebody that does. I can't remember if there's a board down there or not. I think I put a board down there. And there's the metal. That's some heavy stuff too I put in there. Can't remember where I stopped at. I may have to go all the way down to where.
I remember putting insulation, I thought, partly under that. So
I don't know.
I don't know either. Yep, I thought I remembered insulating it. So I am in my soap room, and I used to share this space with our music equipment, but that has been relocated, and now this is where our freeze dryer is going. The garage and panel is on the other side of this wall directly above it. And so Jim is going to come through right up there in the corner and run our plug-in for our new freeze dryer down the wall there. So this should give us plenty of space for that. Also, it's far enough away from the living room and the TV, the bedroom, etc., that hopefully the noise won't bother us. Plus, we have a vent for air conditioning right there to help keep the room cool, because the freeze dryers do create a significant amount of heat. Well, as you can see, Jim got electric run to the basement. He had to cut out the wall there, but he has repaired that and patched it all up. So I think it's looking good. So let's head downstairs. I got the wall painted where the freeze dryer will be located, and Jim's got some wiring to do now so that we can be prepared for when it arrives.
Okay guys, as you can see from upstairs, I had the wire run into this chase up here, and what I'm doing is I'm just running a piece of PVC down, electrical conduit, and I got my wire stuck down through here, and I'm going to mount a box for plug-ins. Now this takes a special plug on the large freeze dryer, so if you get one, you'll need to have one of these put in, and also it takes a 20 amp breaker. Just so happens I happen to have one up in the fuse box, or up in our electrical box, that served no purpose. I must have put it in there when we built. But anyway, luckily I did, so I just hooked onto it, and I'm coming down here now, going to mount my box, going to level the lines, and then we'll have a plug-in for a freeze dryer.
Guys, as you can see, we are ready to go. Got the electric run, we've got our table in place, we got a new vacuum sealer that we might use on occasion, although we also have gobs and gobs of Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers just ready for our freeze-dried food to go into. So we're super excited, and now we're just waiting on our unit. It will be here today, so the next thing you'll see is us getting it all set up.
Well, what they did was that the strap you just cut, they would just strap it all together like that. But now they have 2 extra straps on that, so I'm like, hey, yeah, that's... Straight up, a bunch of packaging and stuff comes out. So, styrofoam. Oh, maybe not. Doing the last one.
It looks all right. I don't see any damage at all.
Okay. Perfect.
Right.
Awesome.
That's a good thing.
Works out for all of us. Then.
That's right. How much did they say that weighs, the machine itself? 130 or 40 pounds?
160 something, I think.
Oh,
The others that aren't stainless are not quite as much.
oh, no wonder we struggled. What is that? Bags? Mylar bags?
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness everybody, our machine was in pristine condition, because after following a Facebook group about freeze drying, we've seen numerous posts where FedEx has really,
Butchered them.
yeah, to say the least, lots of dings and dents and stuff, but ours was perfect, thank goodness. And I might add, we were told it would be 10 weeks, and it only took 4.5 weeks. So luckily we were ready.
Josie has reading material.
Yeah. So the way it works is we have to leave the freeze dryer set for 24 hours, and then you do a bread run, which is just running a batch of plain bread through the system so that it can help pull off any funky odors, oils, electronic type smells, that sort of thing, before you actually do food that you want to consume anyway. So there she is. Now we gotta come up with a name for her or him and finish getting it all set up. Quickly, guys, I'm going to just run through what came with our freeze drying machine. We have an owner's manual, troubleshooting guide, and a guide to freeze drying. Also, we got an impulse sealer, high vacuum pump oil. We've got an oil filter. We got the large model and it came with 5 stainless steel trays. We have a 50 count batch of the 8x12 Mylar bags along with the oxygen absorbers to use with that. This is the vacuum pump and the hose attachment and plug-in needed for this system.
Okay guys, we're getting ready to make our connections on here, and so I'll have Josie come over and I'll unbox the vacuum pump and hook it up. This here is your hydraulic line. Now it says all you got to do is be finger tight on these, but I will probably snug it up just a little tighter than that. Not so much that it's going to hurt anything, but because you don't want to hurt the O-rings inside this puppy. This is the cord for the unit. It's a nice heavy duty cord. Now right beside where I've plugged this in, there's a plug-in for your vacuum pump, and it goes in there right there. And this is a switch to turn it on and off. Let's see, that goes like that. 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 Comes with oil, but Harvest Right sends some oil also besides what is here. It's right back here. This will get plugged in the back, and this is where you fill up the unit. I'm going to add the oil, and it's going to go a little past halfway here, probably to the first mark.
It's almost halfway. That's good. I would stop right there.
Okay.
It's barely above half.
It's pointed toward, oh, this has to be open at all times to work properly. So O is open, C is closed. The vacuum pump runs about 160 degrees when it's running. So you want to be careful not to touch it when it's running. Some of this is plastic, and some of it is metal down here. I think that's metal, yeah. So I would stay away from that. We have a fan here to keep air circulating on this unit, to help keep it cool a little bit. I'm going to stick this cord in the back so I can plug it in. Okay. Now I have the hydraulic line, and this is pretty simple. It has a fitting that you connect it to. And on top of the vacuum pump. It has the same fitting, and we're going to put that right here, tighten it up. I've moved it away from the freeze dryer as much as possible. When you get your freeze dryer, to have a hose connected to a valve here. Now the valve has to be shut off to run. And then this hose goes into a bucket. You want to be sure that your hose is never in water when you open your valve, and it's got a vacuum on it, or to suck that water back into the unit. So make sure to empty your bucket. Now I turned the switch on the vacuum pump in the very back. Now this pump will come on when the machine wants it to come on. So that's all there is to setting it up, really. And the next video we'll be doing the bread run and checking it all out. So hang in there with us, and we'll catch you later.